All right, our Shin Semin with the latest from the National Assembly. Thank you, Semin. Let's now head over to our foreign affairs correspondent, Kwon Soa. So, world leaders were swift to condemn North Korea for its latest nuclear test. Seoul's foreign affairs minister is back from his trip with the president, isn't he?
Yes, Conn-young, as you said, as Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se is back in the country after traveling with President Park Geun-hye to Russia, China, and Laos. He is now discussing how to deal with North Korea's fifth nuclear test and how to communicate with the international community on this severe matter. Now, the ministry says a meeting under Minister Yoon's lead is happening tonight, although it did not mention when this exactly is going to be, and said the meeting is being held behind closed doors. Now, earlier, when the minister was in Vientiane, he discussed the North's threat over the phone with his U.S. and Japanese counterparts, as well as a European Union official. Both Minister Yoon and Tokyo's top diplomat Fumio Kishida denounced Pyongyang's fifth nuclear test and shared their early analyses of it, as well as the results of relevant meetings in their respective countries. Yoon and Kishida also promised to closely cooperate on the trilateral front with the U.S. Now, following that conversation, Yoon and his U.S. counterpart, Secretary of State John Kerry, agreed that Seoul and Washington are on the same page regarding North Korea's latest nuclear test, and said they'll work on closing the loopholes in the sanctions against Pyongyang. While there is no word yet on any contact between Minister Yoon and his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi, North Korea's closest ally China issued a statement saying it urges North Korea to, quote, honor its commitment to denuclearization, comply with the relevant Security Council resolutions, and stop taking any actions that worsen the situation. China's foreign ministry said it'll lodge a protest against Pyongyang's embassy in Beijing.
Well, so that's a lot of international responses and very quickly as well. To go further on the nation's United Nations front, we're also expecting criticism in the near future.
Yes, Conn-young, that's right. South Korea's foreign ministry says that the UN Security Council is expected to convene an emergency meeting at the UN headquarters Friday afternoon to discuss North Korea's fifth nuclear test, and that'll be early Saturday here in South Korea. Now, the meeting has been jointly requested by Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo. The 15 Security Council members are expected to first announce their position on the test, then begin to discuss additional sanctions on the regime, which are expected to be harsher, of course, than those imposed in March, namely Resolution 2270. Now, while the Council is expected to speak with one voice in condemning Pyongyang, it's not expected to be an easy and fast task to form a new resolution, as the last one took almost 2 months to be adopted. Now, we'll probably have more on the emergency meeting on Saturday, and I will keep you updated on that. Back to you, Conn-young.